City Hall, I want to say, is full of cartels.
So we've compromised security, we've compromised social
Liverpool State House, they can easily monitor what is going on at DOD. If these are complaints we have put across, including them. I remember to have complained to their officers. What we are saying is bad manners from the leaders and all the society.
And a lot of this has got to do with corruption.
Precisely.
Just what the Daily Nation has as agenda for our country. They've given an extensive coverage on what they plan to do, or I mean what they would wish the 2017 elections be about. They're saying focus should be on corruption, ethics and governance reports, paint a bad picture of our government procurement processes and the government administration. They're talking about jobs, food security, general security, devolution, debt and many other things. It cuts across from page 14 all the way to page 20. I will start with you, Professor. Do you agree with the agenda for our country as far as the Daily Nation is concerned? Should this be the focus in 2017 elections?
I agree. It should be the focus plus any other agenda that we may have as a nation. But the good news about what we are seeing now happening is that the top leadership is leading from the front. If we want to achieve results, we must pronounce it from the top pinnacle. The reason why the world is worried about Trump is because he has spoken, and the first world speaks. What the top leader said has to be implemented. So we need to laud the president today for fighting this war on drugs. He should have sustained. We should not be having people now, so small people who was, I mean, the junior officers coming now to imagine like they are the heroes. Where were they when, before the head of state led the brigade? We should encourage that, and even the top leadership of the opposition should also lead in dealing with some of these issues. Corruption has become like a cancer, and we are thinking about it. There are some fellows who are sitting on the top leadership in this republic, both government, county government, national government, who are simply corrupt, and they are known by even a passenger or somebody passing by. Those are the people who should be told to account and move, be able to release and relinquish what doesn't belong to them. If we must see results, just like we quickly saw the Acacias being paraded outside the world, they would know how they went. That's the way we need to be seeing these results. Kenyans will change and they will begin to appreciate what Kenya is supposed to be. We are supposed to be custodian. When we are in this leadership position, we are supposed to be custodian of the interests of our people first. And Kenya, we found it, we will leave it. Why must it? Why should we be the ones messing it in our time when it was not messed up by the previous leaders, and the future generations are watching what we are doing? So we need to realize that we need to rally behind the leader, and every leader who is in authority, Mweke, the deputy and the governor, we are rallying behind you in your time. So you need to see that you have an array of everybody standing behind you, but don't look like you are chickening out when you are supposed to be leading it. You just hit the front, move on, and everybody will rally behind you. In a short while, you will see even the characters who are looking like they are awkward, they will begin to sing what you are saying.
Mheshimiwa Beatrice, agenda for our country, according to the Daily Nation, quite a number of issues. The band that is entertaining us today said the mere fact that we have a small white stripe in our flag does not mean we have Amani. Now the Daily Nation says security, peace is one of the things that we need to focus on as we head towards 2017. Do you agree with this analogy?
I do agree, and I think yes, security is very critical, paramount, that for us politicians, I think we are the ones now to get together. While we do our campaigns, let us just remember it's a competition, and in the end, Kenya moves, now regardless of what we do. The
nation says transnational terrorism, narcotics trade, ethnic rivalries are some of the things that threaten the peace of the nation. Absolutely. Do you think the government has handled these issues well?
I would say fairly, because it's good to be honest, fairly in the issue of corruption. And for me, I don't want to see it as government. I want to tell Kenyans from both divides. Because even if I look at NASA, I will look at Anglo Listing, I will look at Tokyo, I will look at everyone has something in a it's in a closet somewhere, something you did to a government when at that time you had an opportunity to serve Kenyans. So when you come out and tell Kenyans that you are now coming, you are clean, you must be asking yourself so many questions, because I don't understand clean. How Kenyans we call clean?
So in that case, who will fight corruption?
That is it.
If we are all tainted.
That is it. So we must appreciate first of all that all of us are tainted in this thing. Then we say, as King of Pokot says, this is a cancer. It's a cancer for all of us to start treating ourselves first. That when I'm in a position of government, because that's where we take advantage, and even you can imagine, we have those who left national government and they ran to the county government. What are they doing? They save, in fact, worse.
Devolved corruption.
Worse. They have devolved the worst. They walk with money in bags and they don't care. Nowadays, even they speak, they tell you, and some even go beyond writing letters to Treasury. These are governors now. I won't say which governor, but it was a very interesting story. A governor who writes 2 letters to Treasury to ask for an IFMIS password so that he can do it himself. Because he has gone to his staff tells him no. Then he realizes, he thinks, he writes a letter, and what does the staff do to save the county? Changes the password. But since the governor does not know, he could not understand what is the password, so he asks for Treasury to give him a password. That's where we have reached in this.
Mheshimiwa Simba Arati, Beatrice here says that the opposition does not have the moral standing to talk about corruption. So who is going to lead the fight against corruption?
Charles, the system, the government, as we are talking today, is Jubilee. Jubilee is one of the worst regimes that Kenyans have experienced, who have enhanced ethnicity, who have enhanced corruption, people who have no face in the country.
Beatrice says the same is in the opposition.
Opposition, you know, we're talking about people who are leading the country. Where we expect, the least that we'll have expected from President Uhuru is to condone corruption. The corruption that we are experiencing in this country is prophesied, is by the blessings of the top. We can see other things happening. The political goodwill. These guys, the business they have is that they have decided to divide the country into 2 particular regions. One for 2 communities against the 41 tribes. And not even the tribes themselves, the 2 Uruto. You know, we have discovered that nowadays there is another tribe called Uruto. And they are cronies who are busy stealing from the common mwananchi. These are the guys who have you know, I saw the deputy president saying that our position is faceless, leaderless. What we are saying, they are the same people who have no manners.
But Jonathan,
before that,
let's give Jonathan a chance. Jonathan, what we are hearing here is exactly what the Daily Nation is alluding to. That in the land of opportunities, they say, take for example M-Pesa, politicians like Simba Arati and Beatrice Elachi and the other politicians out there are just busy trading palms. Is this the agenda we want to go with to the elections, really?
No, it's not the agenda. We need an agenda of progress on how to take this country forward. That headline in the Nation today is screaming. But the root cause of all those issues, the joblessness, the insecurity, is all corruption. And I want to correct my sister, Senator Elachi, that it's the government's role to fight corruption. That is why they are elected, because their president gets sworn in to protect lives, the property of people, and to ensure that this country moves forward. It is his job. Now, all these other people Senator Beatrice is talking about have never been president. And I'll give you a very good example of Tanzania. The current president of Tanzania, Magufuli, was a cabinet minister for 20 years. What did he do? Nothing. Because the agenda is always the president. And the day he became president, the change started the day he was sworn in. Yeah? So Raila has never been a president. Kalonzo has never been a president. Neither have Wetangula or Mudavadi. So what we are doing is we keep asking Kenyans, can you give this NASA team a chance? to lead government, so that when they are president, they can now show what a president is supposed to do. But now you're seeing companies closing shop and leaving the country. You're seeing us being hit all the time by Al-Shabaab. You're seeing drugs getting into the country. You're seeing a very few people getting very rich very quickly. And then you're seeing a president saying, I don't know what to do. Nimeshindwa. Nimejaribu, nimeshindwa, what do I do? Then you find state officers who are very diligent in doing their job, like the Auditor General, Ouko, and now they're trying to remove him for doing his job seriously. These are things that I'd like the president to come out and say, no, Ouko is doing his job, he's investigating Eurobond, he's investigating all these other things, and nobody is going to touch him until he finishes doing his job.
But the president is on record as having condemned his intended trip to America.
That is where the problem starts. So when you start
actually, he had a point. He said, why don't you investigate here? Why are you going to investigate in America?
Because the money didn't come to Kenya.
Professor,
so what are you investigating?
You have always said that it's the responsibility of every Kenyan to fight corruption. But whose job is it to fight corruption?
The Constitution mandates elected leaders to represent the people and work for the people of God. Now, our Constitution gives the overall authority to the head of state. Irrespective of who that fellow is, whether you like him or not, we must rally behind that fellow, come what may. What we only need to ask the president to do is to enhance and move on to implement what we gave him as Kenyans during his tenure to do his work. We will rally behind him.
So you're saying, in many words, you're saying it's the government's work to fight corruption.
It's a government work. Let me tell you, come what may, it's a government work, and everybody else has to toe the line. Government is like a whip, but when the top cracks the whip, it is fell to the ground. So it does exactly what we want. And then now, the photocopies, these people who are in counties, must now also do theirs as well. So, I mean, if you look at it, so that the opposition don't claim that they are holier than thou, look at the counties that are headed by some of the opposition. It is a Kenyan culture. So let's not begin to say this is this one or that one. I come from West Pokot, where my county governor is Kano like myself. But there are some sins also there, which we all must combine to work together to see that we bring, we do our part in our tenure that can give Kenyans some hope. When we begin to point fingers,
blame.
Yeah, it doesn't assist.
But sorry, I kept jumping. Now it's
which was okay. For me, I want us to be honest on this subject. First of all, to thank the president, because if he did not come out, give us a list in parliament to make us start talk about it, because we never used to talk about this corruption. Everyone used to talk about it quietly. But for once, we had a president who said, it is time you people deal with this culture. I am bringing it out, regardless of how it was. That is where the conversation started. When the conversation started, at least we have those who have gone to court. I saw even Tobiko now jailing others, removing others, which is good. And we must say, we are moving somewhere. But for me now...
So we are on course as far as you're concerned?
We are on course. But now let's go back to everyone who is called a politician, leave the senators out, who indeed receives public resources, and you're supposed to go and deliver to Kenyans with that public resources. It's not just the president who receives. It is the members of parliament, it is the women reps, it is the governors. Now these three people must tell us, because you cannot tell us the president will come and deal with the constituency, the money you are given, where you've gone, instead of doing a serious sustainable project, you do it with your cronies and you finish, and then you'll start the way the nation is saying procurement. They'll start telling you, you know, for me, I just come in, but I am the one in the end. It stops with me.
The buck stops with.
And now the county government. The governors will tell you some stories that you cannot believe. Some of their cronies work with them, not because they love them, because they know some of them don't understand. They're just eating the money and they are moving.
I am surprised you know all this and you sit in the Senate, which is supposed to be overseeing.
And that is why I'm talking about it, because we see a lot on paper, and when we go to and I sit in the finance committee, let me tell you, and I want to tell my friend in Mombasa, because he's the one who wrote the letter 2 times. that when I look at his county now, with the reports that are there being done by the external auditors, he needs to look at who is around him. I'm not saying him. He needs to look at who is working with me. And why are they working with me? Because they have realized you don't understand, and so eat the money. Deal with them. Deal with your cronies who are around you. They are the ones who bring those launches, fishy things, take money, put up another floor as you wish. Deal with the people you have employed. They are stealing.
Talking about elections, lady and the gentleman, the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission is operating within a timeline that it's been hinted from the top leadership of the commission that they may be running out of. Do you think we are within the timelines, and do you think we will pull through with a clean, transparent and fair election come 8th August? Considering like the Kericho court is to decide today on the timeline for the resignation of state officers and such like things. Simba.
Before I respond to...
You want to go back to...
I want to go back to...
Really?
No,
will we really move forward?
There is this story we some time back Standard published about 273 routers, MPs, on projects which are not done, because that's what they are carrying and wanting to run around. They think Wamboi thinks that she will move around and make it a story, but
Wamboi.
Wamboi
is I'm talking of Wamboi, a politician,
a politician somewhere.
A politician somewhere will carry that story, run around with it to get married. I want to give a practical example. An example of the Great North constituency, where we received 64 million, whereas every constituency in Nairobi received 64 million. Standard went ahead, did and said the Great North received 74 million. That in the Auditor General's report, we had spent 38 million.
Which financial year were they talking about?
That is 2013-2014. We had spent around 38 million. There was balance in the accounts around 26 million. Therefore, the question of implementing and making sure the money which has been given by the government is properly spent, it's our core mandate as leaders. And I can tell you, Jubilee cannot claim to be wholly on this business of expenditure in the country. What do they have? And I want to tell you why they want to remove Ouko. They wanted to set Ouko against the members of parliament. And members of parliament were furious that no, Ouko has to go. It's not Ouko, it's the NSIS.
But seriously, we need to come to a closure on this. We have agreed it's the responsibility of every Kenyan to fight corruption, but it's the job of the government, county government and national government to fight corruption. I know there is the issue of the Auditor General's office. He actually has a report in the Business Daily. We'll be looking at it in a short while.
And why being sent home?
But for now, I want us to get to a closure on this issue. Exactly, do you agree with the agenda that the nation has set out? Agenda for our county: jobs, food security, national security, corruption, devolution, and debt. You people have not talked about debt, you've not talked about devolution. I mean, are you agreeable, or these are non-issues as we head to 2017?
I think these are very pertinent issues, but what we need to do is we need to find leadership to implement them. Why I keep saying that it is the job and the responsibility of the government, because the government is the one that sends an agenda. The government, or whoever is the head of the government, goes and tells the people of Kenya, I will do A, B, C, D for you. Now, if you look at the current Jubilee regime, and you look at the entire manifesto of what they told Kenyans they'll do, and you start laptops, you start with, of course, the stadiums, you start with 500,000 jobs every year, you start with the roads. I mean, you look at everything. This power, they keep saying the power has gone down. My power bill has gone up, unless I don't live in Kenya. I don't know about your power bills. And what we now need to do as Kenyans is we now need to start being issue-based, where when you go back to the election and somebody after 5 years is coming to say, please give me the job again, you need to start asking questions as Kenyans. And this is what will fix this problem. There has to be a consequence. You said you'll do A. Have you done? You said you do B. Have you done? You said you do C. If you have not done, then let's try and give somebody else.
And that should apply both to the national and
the county. Like for us as the county, we made 7 promises, and now we have even released a booklet saying we told you we are going to do education. This is what we have done.
So you should be judged based on that.
Yes, because it's 4 years later. We have to account to the Mwananchi on what we've done. And for us in Nairobi, Kidero and I have led by example. We have released a booklet that we are widely circulating saying this is what we told you we are going to do, and this is what we have done. It's verifiable, it's real, it's fact. You can go and see.
Did you say anything about potholes?
Yes, roads, of course. And we have done them.
So have you done
yes,
potholes?
But it also depends on where they are. Yeah. Is it our responsibility to do a
which part did you promise to do and which part did you?
The one that's our responsibility. Because there's the Kenyan Urban Roads Authority, KURA. There's the Kenya Highways. So if we went and took county money and went and fixed Mombasa Road, Senator Alachi here, who's laughing at me, is going to say that we have misappropriated
funds. Out of curiosity,
yeah.
Joseph Kang'ethe Road, whose mandate? Is it your mandate or is it the National Highway?
That's Kenya Urban Roads Authority.
So it's not within your mandate?
It's not within our mandate. It's a state organization that we don't even know why it's still there. Because it's Kenya Urban Roads Authority. Nairobi is almost 100% urbanized. So what does that tell you? Most of the roads under the jurisdiction of Nairobi are not there. But the ones that are there, I can tell you right now, we have 105 roads currently under construction. Actually, just last week we approved almost 350 million shillings to continue paying the contractors so they can move ahead. So this is stuff that's there. If you guys even follow us on social media or even look at the newspapers, you'll see that the governor and myself are out twice a week, either doing a road, doing a bridge, inspecting a market or something. I mean, these are things that are there that are real, that whatever kind of propaganda that you can put out won't matter.
The good thing is Nairobians will decide because they live in
but let me finish my point.
But you need to remind them that they can only make that decision once they register as voters.
Yes, of course, they have to register as voters. But hold on, just let me make my point about this whole agenda, because we need to move forward with this agenda thing, and we need now to start being serious. There has to be consequences for people who break the law. There has to be consequences for people who go and lie to Mwananchi they're going to do A, B, C, D, and they don't. And I think that is where, when you say responsibility is for the Kenyans, the only responsibility the Kenyans have, only, is to elect their leaders.
I think that's actually more of their job than their responsibility.
Yes, yes. Once the Kenyans go, get their votes and they elect their leaders, the people they have elected are the ones who are supposed to do these jobs you're talking about, corruption and all that kind of stuff, because that's why they were elected. Yeah. Now, if you look at how many people who are in the list of that corruption thing that the president took to parliament, I think it was 174 people that Senator Alachi is very proud of, how many of those people are going to be cleared to run for an election?
Good question.
There's no consequence.
Good question.
So
we have 2 minutes. We have 2 minutes.
Before he runs away.
I definitely will give you a chance. Simbarati came first.
Okay.
But we have 2 minutes before we take a commercial.
Charles, you know, I want just to echo my deputy governor. One, the system. You know, this Jubilee government is talking about taking over Nairobi, whereas they have denied, and I remember I've said this one before here, they have denied the same county government money they owe them. Other the debts that we are talking about, those debts which are related to 64 billion.
From the city council days.
That's all right. But this is the government which has come in. It has gone budget of 3 trillion. What are we talking about? This is a government, actually, I want just to agree, the president when he came to parliament gave names of 170 something. That's not even, it was not his job. It was ESS's job.
But they gave him the list.
I can tell you, is the president who wanted just to look good, whereas there is nothing has been done.
So what exactly do you want the president to do? One minute you say it's not his job, the next minute
you see it was not his job. Therefore, the only thing he wanted to play the PR business, the normal PR business, they're moving around, you can see, that's what they wanted to play to the Kenyans. They are not working. These guys, they are not working. They have become bodyguards of impunity.
Professor is banning. Professor, hold it right there. Beatrice.
First of all, because now we want to talk candidly.
We have
when my deputy governor says that, then I look at his governor and I say, indeed, judiciary is judiciary. Because where is the governor supposed to be? Kidero? After Mumias? After you've been told all these allegations, really, as a Kenyan, for me,
Allegation is
I
not
thought
the
there are
allegation.
court cases.
I think
I thought there are court cases.
that's why I'm saying
Not court
when he
cases.
says
The court cases have
when
gone and they have been cleared.
No, an allegation
so
belongs
why
to the
was he
allegation.
saying
cleared.
now you see that is what I was bringing in, because when you speak you always have to remember who is behind me, because you might say so and so is going to be cleared, so why was this one cleared? Why was he cleared?
People are cleared
So
because they've
people
not done anything wrong.
good. So when you talk about it, just remember that, because I don't like you're talking and you're forgetting even within me I have the same thing,
Professor,
and it has
nobody's
been
taking
cleared.
blame here. What's happening? Everybody's allegations and cleared.
Yeah.
So who is exactly to blame?
We are in a very terrible scenario here, where you heard it clearly from the deputy governor saying county governments are in an awkward position where some duties are supposed to be done by the national government. That advance of language should cease with immediate effect. Where the moment you are in authority, know who is the head of the department, national government agency that's supposed to be doing your work. No, this road you have just talked about, what is it?
Joseph Kangede Road.
Now, potholes are there because Mweke and Gidero
It's
are
actually
saying-
not potholes, they are craters.
Now, whatever you call them, the people who are suffering are your own people. I have told my county governor, stop talking about Nairobi and Uhuru. This highway from Kapenguria going to Kacheliba, move there with the speed you think you can. It is Nairobi work. Which Nairobi work? That fellow will not even come and drive on this road. Do the most minimum you can.
Misappropriation of funds.
You know, not misappropriation. No. You do what is required, Bwana Mweke.
The senator is asking me to break the law on national TV.
No, they can agree.
Jonathan,
You
as a
see,
layman, I know there's something
there
called
is a law.
violence.
But
Yes.
You can cause violence if
Yes.
the people are suffering.
yeah,
Are you going to sit back and say
And they are
it's not my work?
interlinked. You know, the two governments are interlinked.
yeah.
And then lastly also, my brother here was trying to run away from responsibility. You know, CDF money, now, if we don't look at it critically, it was supposed to have already gone to the counties, that money.
Yeah, because it's devolved. actually.
Is it devolved? Now, they went through the back door, again, with the assistance of the national government, and this Jubilee government has failed in that one. They all agree with these MPs, and then they said, let us call it National Government Dash, CDF. And then who is running the show? It is the MP and cronies. You know, I am the senator of West Pokot. I don't know what those fellows are doing. I've tried to poke and check, and you discover is the loudest campaign and noise maker for that particular MP, who is the chairman of the CDF. These fellows are running projects which the community have not even approved. Let us call a spade a spade. We need to agree expenditure points, national government, county government, and the CDF. Sorry. At least Senate
I sit
clean.
in the delegation registration committee, where these gentlemen, the lady, they wanted us to give them money for doing nothing. Actually,
Oversight.
Nothing. Oversight of what?
Oversight of
These
counties.
guys. Can I tell you? One thing is that we agreed.
1 minute, Mheshimiwa.
Yeah.
You expect the Senate to oversee the counties, right?
By
that
foot
they
and
operate
eyes
well,
and mouth.
that they take good care of funds and everything. From which sources of funds are they supposed to oversight?
Can I tell you what is the work of the senator?
It's written.
Is to oversight.
Exactly.
By oversighting is not
devolved government.
get. Can I ask you?
Yeah.
Can I ask you? These guys, they have been given. We have been given actually money, but you know, you receive the money in terms of, and most of these, like Professor
Ngoja
Nyagapo,
kwanza.
receives money as marriage, close to 1 or 1.5 million for him to go all the way.
You get that much money?
He does.
You see,
All
All of
these
them
guys,
receive.
Okay.
Let me
And
tell you,
all these
just a minute,
guys
just a minute.
who are out
Just
of
a minute.
Nairobi.
You have made
Your point.
a concern. Let's hear. Do you
all
get that much money?
MPs.
All.
No,
All
we don't.
listen.
I
No,
don't.
not Nairobi.
When you
Not
have a
Nairobi.
all, you know,
All of them take it.
we
Okay.
have been decent
We
here.
can only be heard if one person
Yes,
talks
we have
about
been
that.
decent enough here. This advance of logic, which is upside down, has destroyed Kenya. These governors are roaming around because there's total no accountability and checkup from their senators by law. And he says, I should walk from here to Kapenguria, to be going to do oversight using the mileage I was given. Mileage is
Mileage for
fuel
what?
from here to my home.
To do what?
Wait, to my home. Just like you are given
Not to the county.
No, to my home. And then now to move from my home, which is a dot, covering 12,000 square kilometers to check what projects are going on. How